I'm giving somebody the blues today.
Today we have a handful of tweets from Harada, and they're going to be focusing on two type of topics. One is going to be focusing on the situation that happened a little bit ago where he blocked Arslan Ash. This was very confusing to a lot of people, and we started to theorize how did this happen? Was it intentional? Was it accidental? Was this a chain blocking situation, or was it some other reason? Now Harada responds to it and he gives us a reason as to why, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the first thing that I do want to say is that there is a patch happening. Now a lot of people are confused about what this patch and what will be in it, but to my understanding, this patch will only have one issue in it. Eddie had a glitch where he can teleport at the start of the round by holding down forward, and they're making it to where that does not happen. That will not happen anymore. As for what else is in this update, we don't know. I don't know if it's going to be patch notes. If there is, of course I will cover it. So just subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video. But as for update 2.00.03, that one thing is the only thing that they're changing that we know of. Now, when you talk about the Arslan situation, the first tweet, Harada is responding to someone who is encouraging him to keep on blocking people. He says, I don't basically block him. Probably an operational error. I talked to him in the DMs. I have deactivated it now. So what is that, right? What did you deactivate and what kind of operational error was it? To me, this sounds like some method of chain blocking or some method of auto blocking, and it went horribly wrong. And he talked to Arslan Ash in the DMs about it being just a huge mistake. And now whatever it was is now deactivated. Another one says, and he's responding to this person here at the Call Me Monty. Now, this is such a strange character because I had to block this guy on Twitter. I blocked this guy on YouTube. This is a very annoying person who has to be young or stupid because the stuff that they say just goes against like all sorts of logic. As this person you can see on their Twitter, Arslan Ash blocked them, but this person was tagging Harada. These tweets that I just showed you is the tweets that Harada was tagged in, which is what got this response out of Harada. He says, no, you can interpret it any way you want, but I don't block unless I have to. Although I use it if the level is such that I have to report it. We all know that, don't we? But since I'm operating one-handed with a cell phone app, I made mistakes often. By the way, I blocked a few times in the past by mistake on my own Tekken account. The current official ones are originally mine and Michael Murray's accounts. Stopping and talking about that part, I was highlighting, and I still think it's pretty obnoxious, that we have to talk to these guys as if they're community managers when they're not. Michael Murray doesn't want to talk to us. He made that very clear. So why do we have to send him our feedback? We should send it to the official Tekken account where there should be a community manager who managed those accounts and then pass that feedback along. Now, this response here from Harada, people weren't satisfied with this answer. Basically, you have Mike Hollow who says you can't block people accidentally. You go on their profile, click the three dots, click on the block, and then it asks you again with their names in bold. Blocking people is not an operational mistake. It's a deliberate and conscious decision made by an individual. No disrespect, no offense. I'm just saying anyone is entitled to block whoever they want, but you can't block someone by accident unless you're running some sort of script that auto blocks people. Harada is a very important person in the gaming world. For him to just be accidentally blocking people, that is not a good excuse. This could have been another game developer. This could have been a pro player, one of the greatest in Tekken. I only had Twitter for about 2-3 years. Never have I blocked someone by accident. Like on YouTube, whenever I ban or block someone, it's very intentional. I mean, the question that I would ask you guys, for you guys who had Twitter accounts for over a decade, right? Let's say going back to 2014, have you ever blocked someone by mistake? That doesn't happen, right? And the fact that he's saying this like we're just going to believe it is so, he must think we're so gullible. No way I buy that. It's definitely him having some kind of chain blocking system, and it backfired. And now when you talk about them, wanting criticism or being open to criticism, and they're using these mass blocking methods, this is horrible for that, right? Someone just simply now you could like something by mistake. I've done that before, right? Like something by mistake, like something intentionally, and then you lose your ability to communicate with the developers because of it. That is terrible, and I think that should really be highlighted. Michael Murray probably does this. Harada basically does it. I wonder if Nakatsu does it. The fact that these developers are mass blocking players for simply agreeing or liking posts that they find toxic is really terrible, bro. That is not good at all. And these guys are kind of dumb because they continue to expose themselves, and they continue to expose like how bad they are with social media and just community engagement. In the next tweet, Harada is responding to someone who says, "How do you block someone on accident?" Harada says, "You may not know this because you never experienced a reply or report post that you cannot read, but there's a post that should be reported mixed in with mass of posts, and if you get that report post itself wrong, you'll get a block recommendation button at the end. Press that and you will be blocked." So what this part sounds like is that you will have someone who is saying something that they, toxic, whatever, and then you will try to target that person with whatever methods they're using, but then they, misclick, misinput, and then they just block the person next to them, above, below. This time around, it seems to be Arslan Ash. I don't think this was one of those things where you press the three dots and block that way. This had to be something else because he's talking about mass reporting, mass blocking. And let me just say this, the fact that the developers think that mass reporting slash blocking is a solution to what they're currently experiencing is terrible. The developers themselves, Harada specifically, told us that the backlash was justified, and the only way forward is for them to patch the game and fix the game. We saw all of the other developers apologize for what happened, but why do they then turn around less than a week later and then they expose themselves for mass blocking players? When players say they had enough, when players say that they don't believe the developers, they don't trust the developers, this is why, because they say one thing and then they do another. This is literally what happened with season 2 when they said they wanted to put defense in the game, and then surprise, surprise, that was a lie. Here's unreasonable offense. Oh, we want to listen to players, we're sorry. Surprise, surprise, that was a lie. We're secretly trying to mass block everyone who's liking this tweet, who's reposting this tweet, who's agreeing with anything we deem to be toxic. And we know that the developers, they get offended by anything and everything. We know that they were offended by misplaced stuff. We know how fragile of an ego they have. It's so weird to me that they have these huge lapses in judgment, not only in terms of game balance, but also in terms of social media. These guys just come up with the worst solutions possible, and then they somehow convince themselves that it is the best solution. Mass reporting your consumer base when you're continuously trying to sell them all type of like random trash, from skateboards to alcohols to cheap t-shirts to, lazy DLC that has no identity and all are copying the same fighting style, multiple deluxe and editions. And how can you be trying to sell all this stuff but then block those same players? Me personally, that doesn't sit well with me. Hopefully the developers really understand why the players don't like what they're doing and they can stop. Yes, getting backlash is not fun. I've been there as well, but the solution is not to block everyone. You can't do that. You can't block everyone who is liking something or retweeting something that you disagree with. This type of behavior usually happens in politics, and it's made fun of because those people are creating echo chambers. They're creating a place where everyone agrees with them, and even the real criticism can't get through. That's what mass blocking is. You get out a lot of people who really want to help and really want to give criticism, and politics, that behavior is criticized, it's made fun of. So why would they replicate that in a video game environment? These devs, bro, they continue to blow my mind every day.